Coming up tonight on YCN News, we'll take a look at 2015's biggest stories here in our region as part of our YCN 2015 Year in Review. For your local news, sports, and all that matters in our area, this is YCN News, your source of your local view.
Now, your daily digest of the Dartmouth Lake Sunapee region, southern Vermont, and Windsor County. News, sports, weather, and all that is happening in our area. The news on YCN, your local view.
Welcome to YCN News, everyone. It's December 31st. Happy New Year's Eve. I'm Kurt Weedy, and thank you for joining us tonight. Now, as you all know, it is the very last day of 2015 as we welcome a new year at midnight tonight. Now, as we look back at the past 365 days, well, a lot has happened in the world and our country, but most importantly, a lot has happened here in our region. Now, we here at YCN are taking this opportunity to recap what we think were the biggest stories of 2015, meaning the stories that got the most attention in our area. Later on, Mike Pizzone will be joining us to look back at the biggest sports stories of the year, and trust me, there were plenty of those. So without further ado, let's review 2015. Now, first up, we've got the story of the George's Mills General Store, which suffered from a fire on January 4th, and through hard work and determination over 9 months, was rebuilt and reopened. Now let's take a look at this piece that aired on January 5th, a day after the devastating fire.
The owner of a Sunapee convenience store destroyed by fire yesterday is vowing to rebuild. Karen Timbrell tells YCN News today the intention is to rebuild Jake's Market. It's too important a community asset not to rebuild, Timbrell said. Too important to the people who work there and to the people who rely on the store each day. The fire at the George's Mills store was discovered by an on-duty Sunapee police officer, Tim Therian, reported the Eagle Times. Around 12:19 a.m., Therian looked into the building in response to a burglary alarm going off at the store. As these images show, the store is a total loss, yet is insured.
Now on to our next big story of the year, which dates back to the spring and was a source of widespread media coverage. That being the trial of James Rowbarge in the murder of his wife on the day that she filed for divorce. This story originally aired on April 4th.
The year 2045 before former Charlestown, New Hampshire resident James Rowbarge is eligible for parole. Rowbarge learned today how many years he will serve in the prison from Sullivan County Judge Brian Tucker. James Rowbarge will serve 30 years to life in the New Hampshire State Prison. Earlier this year, a jury convicted Rowbarge, now 45, of second-degree murder with reckless intent for killing his wife Kelly Rowbarge in June of 2013. She was 42 at the time of her death. Her remains were found in woods off Britton Road in Unity about 10 days after her disappearance. James Rowbarge beat Kelly on the day she told him she filed for divorce. Her body was put into a car trunk and dropped on the ground. Friends and family of Kelly Rowbarge, including the 2 adult daughters of Kelly and James, Sierra and Gabrielle, were in the courtroom.
Now our next top story of the year is one that is a national story but has a rather drastic local twist. Attacks on Planned Parenthood have increased in frequency as of late, including a shooting in late November in Colorado. But on the local scene, the Claremont Planned Parenthood was defaced during 2 crimes in 1 month's time. This broadcast was from the day of the second crime, October 10th. Well, we begin tonight with a developing story after the Planned Parenthood right here in Claremont was struck by a vandal for the second time this month. Claremont police say they arrested an unidentified juvenile early this morning after he was found inside the Pleasant Street building with a hatchet and a can of spray paint. According to a press release, damage to the Planned Parenthood office was extensive, with numerous computers and plumbing fixtures smashed, shattered windows, and broken office and medical equipment. Now, flooding from the damaged plumbing fixtures also damaged the Tremont House of Pizza located right next door, though the restaurant was open by mid-afternoon. Police said they are still trying to determine if the incident is connected with the vandalism found there earlier this month, where the word murderer was spray painted on the building. Planned Parenthood of Northern New England Vice President Jennifer Frizzle said that after that incident that the crime was the first in New Hampshire since the recent escalation of attacks against their organization. And on to the next, this time staying in Claremont, we've got the vandalism of the St. Mary's Church. Now, 2 arrests were made in the August vandalism, and this report is from the 24th. Sticking with New Hampshire news, the Claremont Police Department made 2 arrests yesterday after vandals damaged and stole property from the St. Mary's Roman Catholic Church on Pearl Street. 18-year-old Zachary Underwood of Charlestown, along with an unidentified minor, were arrested shortly before 3 p.m. yesterday afternoon after a brief investigation. Police say the pair broke into the church through a window at approximately 7 in the morning on Sunday. They damaged various religious artifacts before discharging fire extinguishers into the church assembly area. Underwood was being held without bail pending his arraignment, while the minor was released to his parent. The total cost of the repair is unknown at this time. When we come back on YCN News, we'll continue our YCN 2015 Year in Review, taking a look at the biggest news stories of the year before we move on to sports. We'll be right back.
The YCN News continues in a moment.